Hello everybody, and thank you for watching. My name is Dave and I have fun doing these little videos. This is the first video I've done of this particular hobby. Most of my videos are of hobbies, usually ham radio. This is the first one I've done of my bicycling hobby, and I'm currently standing right by the Madison County trails. And if you can see over my shoulder, hopefully you can, and I actually will get out of the way. To the left over there, you see Main Street, some cars coming down. And not too long ago, on Facebook, a group I think, I saw a still picture, must have been a 100-year-old picture, that was standing right about here. And I think it had Main Street to the left. I don't think it was train tracks. However, to the right of there are two trails. To the left is the Goshen Trail. I really don't remember the name of the one that heads to the right. That trail will head down Glen Carbon, and a pretty cool trail. The Goshen Trail, that one, if you want, it will go all the way up to O'Fallon, Illinois, by a middle school, I think it is, junior high school maybe. And that's actually in St. Clair County. Edwardsville used to be a rail center. I'm going to swing this thing back around. It used to be a whole bunch of trains came through Edwardsville. There were multiple tracks, and now those tracks have been made into trails. Rails to trails, they call them. And it's a really great thing for bicyclists, for hikers, for walkers, for dog walkers, multiple uses for these trails. These trails are indeed a gem of this county and this region. They are super trails. What a goal or a joy we have to be able to use these things. Whoever came up with the idea and put this incredible organization together, Madison County Transit, the trails in particular, kudos to them. They're just great trails. And here I am standing. You probably have, many of you have seen this. My bicycle leaning against somebody's bicycle, somebody standing in front of it, getting their picture taken. And many of us remember Newt. There are 8 of these trail critters scattered throughout the trail system. You can find a picture of them on the Madison County Trails, the website, mct.org. Search Madison County, Illinois bicycle trails, and you're likely to find this. You can find a link to the various critters, all 8 of them. A little bit later, I might just pop a few pictures of them that I have taken. I haven't taken all of them, but there's a few of them that I haven't even seen. I don't get up to the north very often. So Newt in particular, this guy, he was everybody's friend on this trail. You head down to the trail I showed you down to the right that went down to the south to Glen Carbon. Newt was a kind of a fixture on that trail. He had a little concrete pad he'd love to sit on, and he was just everybody's friend. And whenever Newt died, it was really, really a sad day among cyclists because so many people knew him. He was a friend of so many people, including me, a dog lover. Newt would jump up on your bicycle seat with you if you didn't come down and say hi to him. He was just a super friendly, very cool little critter. So I'm going to go past here in just a little bit. Past on the Goshen Trail is, I think, one of the coolest things on the trail system, and that's an old water tank that used to fill old locomotives. And it's currently about 90 degrees here. It's getting too late July in 2025. And I can just imagine at that water tank, some guy shoveling coal into a furnace to power that locomotive, boil the water, create the steam that was used to turn those all those gears and, oh my goodness, those wheels. I can't imagine it being that hot inside that car that was shoveling coal in front of that fire, on top of it being 90 degrees. Must have been just brutal, but I think it's a little fascinating piece of history. I'm very glad they didn't tear it down. whoever chose not to do so, thank you very much, because I think it's awesome. When I go by there, and I'll do that shortly, I might just take a video of it. So I think that will do it for now. I'll be back with you shortly, and I'm going to visit some other places, some other cool locations on this trail. I'll be out and about for a little while, and I hope you enjoy watching. Bye for now. Well, I mentioned the water tower that we used to fill old locomotives, and there it is. I don't know, not too many 100 yards down from, I guess I'm east of where I was at Newt. And there's the old water tower. Let's take a look at this old thing. Obviously, it's been there for many decades. You can see down kind of the 2/3 of the way down the water spout that was used to fill the trains that were on the tracks right about where we are right now. I don't know, I think it's just an awesome thing. Something you just don't ever see anymore, because this must have been 100 years old. Diesel trains came along and those were done away with. And looks like it's got a hole rusted in it up there. That old iron's been up there forever. Thought you might like to see it. Here I go again. And hello again. I am now standing on the old Chain of Rocks bridge. This is the bridge that was Route 66 bridge. It took you from Illinois, which is behind me, to Missouri, which is now behind me. A little bit of history. This is not the original bridge. This is the second Route 66 bridge. The first one was down towards St. Louis, a few miles, I think, and it eventually, I guess, gave out. They decided to use this bridge instead. Perhaps it's a little more direct route around the city, I don't know. But this is the second Route 66 bridge. There's not really a trail to get here from the Illinois side, although I think still in Madison County, unless I have crossed into Missouri. I'm not really sure. There's no sign. However, across this bridge to the Missouri side, you'll see the bridge makes a right turn, and they have redone the landing area on the Missouri side. It's all very new, done a year or so ago. And if you were to make that right off of the landing, there is a trail. There's a little bit of a hill, pretty good hill actually. As you get across, you go up a pretty good hill, and there might be 2 or 3 pretty good hills. But that trail would take you down to St. Louis, where you could cross in front of the arch that you might be able to see if you have really, really good eyes. You kind of see it at an angle. We're north of the arch legs, and it faces east and west, so we're really getting it at a pretty good angle. But the trail will take you right down in front of that, and just a little bit further, you go down further south past the arch grounds, and the trail kind of peters out. You're on basically city roads, which is also kind of what happens when you're above what is Laclede's Landing. But the thing of it is, there you get some really cool views of the old cityscapes, the views that you don't normally get to see from the highways, the roads. It's really a pretty cool view, and seeing the old city is really interesting. Walking around here just a little bit, I'm probably in too much sun. A trivia piece about this bridge. In 1981, there was a movie released, Escape from New York, and starred Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. You can watch it. He actually had to fight his way across this bridge. There were bombs and hidden various things, and the movie wasn't great, at least in my opinion. Yeah, the movie might not have been great, but the bridge is pretty cool. This is definitely a blast from the past. No more vehicles come across it. It's now a pedestrian bridge, bicycles, hikers, a lot of dog walkers, etc., etc. Pretty cool place, and again, a pretty cool piece of old St. Louis Route 66 even history. So I thought you might enjoy it, and maybe consider parking behind me on the Illinois side or in front of me on the Missouri side. There's plenty of parking there. Crossing the bridge to go across down river towards St. Louis. You'll see some cool things. Back in a little bit. And hello once again. I am currently at the Lewis and Clark State Memorial Site, just down from Hartford, Illinois. Perhaps you can see the building over my right shoulder. A bit of history here. This is tied into the trail. Behind me, maybe you can see the bicycle trail. Come down there from along the river road on the levee on the Confluence Trail. And we're going to be there in just a little bit, so I'll tell you more about that part of the trail in just a few minutes. But this location, this is where Lewis and Clark wintered from 1803 to 1804. You might recall the Louisiana Purchase happened in 1804 officially, and before it did, President Thomas Jefferson sent his good friend, actually Lewis, told him to get a group together and explore the territory that was just purchased. And that was the Lewis and Clark expedition, and man, what an expedition it was. They left here in, I think it was May 14th of 1804. I don't know why they didn't leave earlier, but my suspicion is that Lewis was kind of a partier and he enjoyed his time in St. Louis. He spent a lot of the winter there while Clark and the rest of the crew were here getting things prepared for their winter stay and also for their expedition, and it had to be grueling. So anyway, I just thought you would enjoy seeing this spot. If I were on the trail, and the reason I'm not is because it's right by the highway. It's quite noisy, a lot of vehicles traveling at highway speeds. But right up there is the Buffalo Trail critter. I won't have a chance to take a picture of it. You can spot it, search for Madison County bicycle trails. You'll see a link to the trail critters and more of that later. Cool little spot right here. Talk to you soon. And hello once again. It seems like it was only moments that we spoke. Well, I am on top of the levee. Look, behind me is kind of where we were. Just a heads up, parts of that trail are closed. However, there's a pretty good sized shoulder along the river road there. In front of me is Alton, and I'll spin around here somewhat slowly. You'll be able to see the Alton Bridge. I think it's a really cool looking bridge, actually, with those very unique spans. And it's also a bicycle trail. Now, if you were to take this trail, continue on, you're heading upriver, kind of north and maybe east. It meanders just a little bit. You would ride through the city of Alton, Illinois, and you could keep going. There's although it's not on the Madison County trail maps, some trails that are not in Madison County are not on that trail or not on that website. But you would be able to take a trail along the river roads, very scenic, and you could go through Elsa, the oldest town in the state of Illinois, and you could continue on to Grafton. Grafton first, a really cool town, and then find your way up to Marquette State Park. And of course, all of that is in Jersey County, or outside of Madison County. I didn't mention earlier that you could go up to Macoupin County. You could go to the town of Staunton. A trail takes you up that way, which is to the northeast. I'm currently looking to the north, and behind me is the Mel Price Lock and Dam. Want something to watch that's kind of fun? Watch the barges lock through. Some barges, boats. There's the Big O construction project, the Lock and Dam. And it is kind of fun to watch those things. Or right next to it is the museum. I remember being in there my last time here. They had a kind of like a video game thing where you could be the driver of a barge. You're driving the tow truck, pushing the barges, and the goal was to maneuver around the bridges just above St. Louis's riverfront, above the arch grounds. And it seemed like I was not cut out to be a barge driver. Well, I mentioned the Alton Bridge. That's actually got bicycle lanes to go across it. I was actually on that bridge when it was dedicated. Governors from both states met there. I think it was the Illinois governor who was very late, but yeah, I think it was January. It was a very cold day, I remember, but it was a very cool experience. But across that bridge, you can find your way to the Katy Trail. Of course, the Katy Trail is kind of the bicycle superhighway that goes across the state of Missouri. It goes from here on the very east side. It'll follow, mostly follow the Missouri River. It'll break off a little bit there. I think it, I forget the name of the town. I'll think of it later. Anyway, you could take it to Clinton, or you could take a spur up towards Kansas City. And one note on the Katy Trail, if you get to there from Mockins, it's, I'm not really sure about whether you're legally able to do that. You cross a sign at the little bitty road from Mockins that says no Katy Trail access. Cross some train tracks and walk on a rock section, which maybe is owned by the train tracks. I don't know, 100 yards, 200 yards, and there's actually the eastern beginning of the Katy Trail. So just a heads up, cross that section at your own risk. I don't know. I'll let you do what you want to do. So anyway, that is all from here. The road behind me could go to Jersey County. It could go to right over that way. It could go into Missouri. That's St. Charles County. We were just back where you could go into St. Louis County, and these trails are absolutely amazing. I hope you get out and enjoy them. That's it for now. And hello once again. This will be my last little scene from this video. Once again, I am on the other side of Newt. One reason I'm here is to remind people that there are so many loops you can make on this trail. There are actually, depending on how many miles you want to ride, you can kind of pick your loop and find the route you want to make. And they're all great routes. They almost all paved. They tend to be flat because old locomotives did not like to climb hills. So the trails are flat, they're asphalt, they're well maintained. I was out here yesterday, did a 45-mile ride, and people were out mowing. After they mow, they have a contraption where they blow off the debris that they put on the trail from mowing. Everything's really well maintained. I also enjoyed talking to a guy named Mark, who was I saw him in one of the Madison County Transit trucks. He was surveying an area that's going to be under maintenance in the near future, probably, I don't know, 6 weeks, sometime I think in September, he said. And it was great talking to him. I got to tell him thank you for what he does for the Madison County trails, because these are a gem. I'm facing now west, and to the north, if you were to go up there, One thing you might see on the trails, and I hope it's still there, it was a couple of years ago the last time I rode up there, was the solar system. Somebody had taken the time to draw the sun on one of the on a park up there at a trail, and it pretty much fills the the entire width of the trail. And as you go further on to the south, was the way that it's set up, you'll find the four small planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, which are only like the size of a marble, maybe. The planets that are all in the solar system, they're all set on the trail, approximate size, the best they could do on something like this small scale, and also the distance from the sun. So it's really very well thought of, very well done. After you get to the four smaller planets, you get to the great big, the gas planets, those monsters, and they're of course much larger. And eventually, and those are also quite far apart, and sometimes it's almost, you forget that you're going past them. Hey, there's another planet. And so somebody really did a great job there. So these trails are really, really very awesome. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you all get out and take advantage of these trails. They are really just very nice. There are about 138 miles in this county of bicycle trails. There are bridges, there are tunnels, and quite a few of them actually. And they are all well thought out, they're well placed. There's also going to be a whole lot more. For example, over 111, they're beginning the process of putting a bridge. If you ride near Horseshoe Lake State Park, cross 111, it's a little bit dangerous. It's a highway, 4-lane, maybe 5-lane. So they're going to get rid of that danger, put a over the top of it. They're going to put a bridge. And so if you like the trails now, just wait, because they're going to get better and better. There are more communities that are building trails. Grants are in the works, and very much in the works. They're ready to progress on quite a few of them. So if you like the trails now, just wait, because they're even going to get better. And we are, again, so fortunate. Thank you to the Madison County Trails people, those who maintain it, everybody who does the work on these trails. Thank you so much. I love them, hope you do too. Bye for now.